This is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. We're here on PlayStation 5 Pro. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. This is the Ninja surprise release of the return of, well, Ninja Gaiden 2. Taking elements that basically were kind of refined in Sigma while restoring the elements that were censored and removed from the original Ninja Gaiden 2 experience. I actually just finished playing through this the other night, and it's delightfully charming. They've definitely kind of eased up a little bit on this one. It's still got an edge of difficulty to it, but they've definitely eased up on it for sure. So yeah, if you want to watch me sit there and hack and slash my way through it, that might be enjoyable to you. So they've got a more easier going beginner mode that is present within this game, which should assist with those having difficulty, but normal mode I do think is relatively fine in this one, so it shouldn't be too bad for most people to work through, although some of the later stuff, yeah, some of the boss fights can get a little grueling for sure. So this game is gory, it's violent, the dismemberment elements are incredibly detailed. She's got great assets, and yeah, you get to be a ninja, Ryu Hayabusa, and also some additional stylish female lead characters that pop in for a couple levels, basically one each, and they're like little additional like spin-off type levels almost, and yeah, it's actually quite interesting. So you come in, you've got a bunch of different weapons, tools, and you're able to evolve and become more powerful as you go on this quest. That's a globe-spanning journey across all these different terrains and all these different weathering variants, and it's brought to life beautifully in UE5, Unreal Engine 5. So it really is quite actually a good technical showcase, and one of the best kind of case studies I've seen for UE5 as far as games go, just in terms of the visual options and ways that you can play this game, which is actually quite impressive. So we're going to be diving in here and kind of battling these guys. As soon as I get my bearings, I'll be hacking and slashing my heart out. Yeah, so it's really quite interesting to see this on here and available, and it is PS5 Pro enhanced. So that makes it look a little bit better. I think it's more just handling the quality of the scaling a lot better, because this game, it actually looks really good. Like, I played it on Series X, it looked relatively great throughout. A little rougher on Series S, and then here on the PS5 Pro, it's just like cleaner, a lot cleaner of an image that's being presented here. Black Spider Clan. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and skip so that we can get kind of into the action here. Yeah, some nice refinements in this one. It's basically got all the content, all the brutal action. As soon as we hack and slash these guys up, we'll talk about the different kind of like performance modes and stuff like that in this game, because they do give you a couple different options. It's mostly just giving you a lot more of a clear picture. So it's still like a temporally scaled. You can definitely tell in the way that, like, when the combat kind of goes in, it's just like a lot less blurrier as it pushes towards a 4K for the image reconstruction. That's basically what it is when it's temporally scaled. Is like, you know, they take like a lower bounce and they push it higher. It's just this one handles the resolution a lot better compared to like what I had on the Series X. Like the detail of the trees, the character, especially in motion, it's a lot higher level of clarity within the environments, which is fantastic. We also have HDR support, and I guess it's the clicking in the pad there. So you go to screen settings, so you can do FPS limit at 60 or 120 if you have the screen that supports it. I also want to mention that there's the FPS limit event, which is like your more high-end cinematic kind of things. There's the color filtering options if you want to switch that around, and there is some other little post effects like motion blur, and you can do a monochrome filter, which makes it like black and white, which is kind of cool. If, well, it makes it monochrome, right? I guess I shouldn't say necessarily just black and white, but you know, that kind of is what it is. It's a very stylistic kind of a look. Not necessarily like an old ninja film, but you know, kind of giving you the idea of that. And it's kind of a neat little thing to highlight. Kind of wish I did on the Series X video, but it is what it is. Yeah, so we'll switch to the 120 mode, and it's going to have to kick in the VRR, which is, you know, it's going to take a second, and then it'll reload. And then there's game settings you can adjust to, you know, if you don't want, like, the blood and everything like that. Totally up to you. So you'll notice here that the threshold basically is, like, the fidelity is lowered quite a bit, but this is a lot higher of a high frame rate mode resolution compared to what I had on the Series X. So, again, it's temporally scaling, but I think our higher bounds here is, like, at least 1440 on this. Like, it's... Like, you could tell that it's, like, lower resolution, for sure, and I don't know how well that comes across on YouTube, depending on where you're watching it. Like, it is a big drop, but it's, like, not... Like, the Series X going to 120, it's very fuzzy and very clearly, like, sub 1080, whereas this looks a lot higher resolution than that, which is fantastic. And it's like, it's a lot harder to do stuff when there's like temporal scaling going on, because it's like dynamic and then on top of that scaled. But like this 120 hertz mode is a lot more visually and aesthetically pleasing to play through, just in terms of like I could actually see myself sitting here and playing through this game at this frame rate on this platform, because it just looks so much clearer. Like, yeah, this is more than fine if you're wanting to play this game at a high frame rate, which is really cool. And again, like, if you're playing a game that's Unreal Engine 5, we've had so many games that are like not the best visual fidelity, and it's especially like high frame rate games on Unreal Engine 5, very, very few that are able to achieve that. It's a pretty demanding engine. So this game is also interesting in the fact that it is a remaster, they call it, which I find very odd from the terminology of it, because to me this is, do not knock me down into that hole. This is genuinely like a remake, like, you know, it's in Unreal Engine 5, and that's just kind of like the term the publisher kind of passed along and stuff like that, and yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me, because like clearly they've like revamped this and redone it, and it's interesting because like, oh, I just want to fall down here. I don't think there's anything good in that chest, is it? Yeah, it's just like a box making fun of me for not doing my wall jumping correctly, or my wall running correctly. Yeah, sometimes this game does that, where it will. Oh my god, why are you not? Can I do the side thing here so it goes faster? Thank you. There we go. Why are you not doing that? No, he's not doing it correctly. I did this flawlessly on Xbox. You can see the video on the stream thing. Okay, maybe I gotta just turn around a bit. Okay. There we go. That's good enough. It works. So anyways, yeah, this game's kind of interesting because it was like 360 era. There's exclusivity, and then not too long ago we got the Master Collection. So you're kind of able to play it there, but, you know, like I said, there was, like, censoring and stuff, which is not ideal. Like, the whole thing of Ninja Gaiden is, it's, you know, it's gory, it's brutal, it's, visceral, it's supposed to be really intense, and to remove that element of it, I think, is a little disappointing, at least in my opinion. Yeah, and the crystal skulls, you collect enough of these, you get better deals when you go to the store and stuff like that. Like, this game is a ton of fun to play. Like, I really was just, like, on normal difficulty, just rolling through it last night, and just kind of having fun, like, doing the hack and slashing. But, as I said, they definitely made this a lot easier than I remember it being when it was, like, the original, like, 360 version and stuff like that back in the day. I just remember it being a lot more kind of brutal, like, in terms of difficulty, but here you can really kind of just hack and slash, which takes away a little bit of the finesse and the skill of it, I suppose you would say. This 120Hz mode really is actually quite clean. I am very pleasantly surprised by this. Yeah, I wish I would have streamed through it on here, but I didn't get the code till whatever hour and stuff, and yeah. Internet speeds and everything. I am really, really impressed though. Like, this looks great. Even the water still got the temporal fuzz going on, but really, really good. The Art of Inferno. Yeah, and this is your like ultimate thing. You can like burn guys, and you upgraded it, and you can burn more. I didn't even hit anybody. Well, that's disappointing. Wanted to show you the ultimate fire of it, and, like the burning thing. But maybe I did hit that guy over there. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of a cool sensing path where it tells you where to go. Kind of neat. I want to show off the fire effects, because it's kind of nice looking. So anyways, the game is really, really good. Like, I highly recommend it. It took me, I think it was like almost 8 hours or so to sort of roll through it. But like, I do have the benefit of knowledge of the game, and I do feel like I'm usually better at some games more so than the average player. Not trying to like, say anything specifically. Like, I do move through games quickly. So I do believe it is very likely to make your average player spend a lot more time than that playing through it, and then there's higher difficulties and, like I said, easier ones. So it really is quite accessible from the perspective of, like, if you've never played Ninja Gaiden before, you can jump in here. There's a story to it, but, like, it's pretty, like, nonsensical, so I think you really can come in here and not really care too much about, like, the narrative of it. I'm going to switch over to the 60 FPS mode, just so you could see like the higher resolution quality a little bit more in the game, because I feel like we didn't spend a whole lot of time with that. But like, yeah, that 120 Hz mode is really, really nice on PlayStation 5 Pro. Definitely a recommend if you have the TV capability for that. I'm assuming people that have a Pro do, but because it's a little bit more niche in that regard, but I'm just, yeah. This is such a good game, seriously. Like, this guy is so cool, and it's got a great gallery of lady leads and characters, and yeah, and this area is like so beautiful. It just, I can't wait, because they're supposed to be working on a new Dead or Alive, which is like, the series, and it's like a fighter franchise, so they're supposed to be rebooting that, and I literally cannot wait for that to come, because like the level of fidelity for the characters in this game, like the skin textures and stuff during cutscenes, is really, really quite stunning, and I'm assuming they're going to be using that kind of tech for that game, and I'm just really kind of excited to see how that like turns out, because I really quite like the Dead or Alive series, so I'm very genuinely excited to see how it kind of looks. And yeah, this game's got like really awesome cinematics, and it's just like you're really genuinely an ultra badass, awesome samurai guy that has like cosmic god tier powers. It is really, really, yeah, it's quite something. It does have the usual, like, UE5 aesthetics, though, to it as well. Like, the rocks and stuff like that. Like, they're very realistic environments. Like, this level, it's a good showcase, because it's really action-packed, and you get, like, lovely little scenes with the petals floating down and stuff. But I don't think it even really shows off the graphical quality of this game until you get into, like, the city villages where you can see all the rocks, or some of the late endgame content where you're going through really grotesque rocky areas and you go, wow, this is a really impressive UE5 game, like, genuinely. I don't know if we're quite at like Hellblade level, but the fact that it looks this good and has high frame rates and even like a 60 FPS, that it's like smooth, is genuinely impressive. Like, this is a really, really cool offering here. Like, I really love this. I think this game is absolutely fantastic. I had just genuinely a blast sitting here playing through it. Like, it was a bit of a long long session because I did it in one stream go, right? But like, and I started to get a little fatigued like by the end, but I think you'll get what I mean if you were to sit here, because most regular people are not gonna like sit and play it and then go, right? You're not gonna feel a fatigue like I did, especially because the game, like, you kill the same guy so many times, and then this game also has, I would say, not necessarily an issue, but a little bit of an issue where they really like to lean on, or certain bosses really love to pop up a couple times over or so, depending on the scenario, and yeah, that can be a little annoying when you're like, oh, this guy. So yeah, take that for what you will, but I do think this is a really great, like, fun time, and like the story is serviceable enough. It's like, Hayabusa is just sitting there like doing a couple lines here or there. He's like, I don't care and stuff. And he's just kind of a cool, ninja character doing awesome things. There's all these cool ladies, and it really is like the best of its like era of gaming too, if that makes sense. Like, it's just such a good time in gaming is what it was. And yeah, I think you could really like this, honestly. I think you'd be blown away by the technical elements of it, the quality of the visuals, level of performance, the cool action, crazy scenes, the music's pretty cool. It's just really fun, honestly. And they still have like the more hardcore difficulty stuff if you are like worried that it is a bit too casual now. Like, they do have grueling modes, but yeah, it's a lot more accessible than it was back in the day. I think that's my HDMI cord. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's the PS5 can be a little, I don't know how to describe it, a little intensive on the HDMI sometimes, and then it'll like do that. But anyways, yeah, let's just say the PlayStations, they run hotter on the cords. Although I will say the base PS5 was a lot more aggressive on HDMIs than the PS5 Pro is. They did some good improvements in that regard for sure. But I would highly recommend taking a look at this game. I think you'll love it if you're into like the hyper-violence, cool combat. There is like, the gameplay does have great levels of like actual depth for like combos and dodges and making the right moves and stuff like that, but it is also a hack and slash. It's not like those stamina-based kind of games of the Souls-like. It's got its own personality, it's got its own heart, its own character, and the Ninja Gaiden series is really quite cool. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't do the first one again, because there is like Ninja Gaiden Black, which is the original. That's typically is when they like, I guess again they call it remaster, but like when they kind of make them or bring them back, they usually call it Ninja Gaiden like Black or Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. And I'm hoping maybe the third one gets something too, but they didn't really announce it, so probably not. Like, because obviously Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out, right? So it would have been a good precursor to kind of be able to play the whole series, if that makes sense, ahead of the new one. But it doesn't matter too much, right? So anyways, I think I kind of covered the full scope of this one. You have some great resolution quality here on the PS5 Pro. It looks fantastic. Good bump up, incredibly detailed environments, gory intensity and action, hyper intensive combat, cool combo kind of moves you can pull off, various upgrades and improvements, great selection of weapons. The staff is like what carries me through the game. Seriously, I rock the staff the whole time. It is a very powerful, great weapon with it's good for crowd control is what it really is. And you will face off against some pretty radical, crazy things when you're playing this game, but I think you'll have a lot of fun doing so and be blown away by the action and the intensity that is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. But even like the detail in the backdrop, like so much more like fully detailed here and stuff like that. I kind of want to like check this out on PC too, to really push her, but no, this is a great way to experience the game and what it has to offer. Very well done effort, and a nice pleasant surprise, I would say, for my day.